Welcome to fucking Boondocking with Sean, Northwest Edition, Day 4 and 5, double whammy, of a 16-day road trip where we paid exactly 0 for campsites. Well, today we woke up somewhere in northeastern Washington near Hog Lake, and we're going to pop on over to the Idaho Panhandle today. But first things first, even though we dumped our shitter yesterday, it's registering not empty, so we might have a clog or some poo goo stuck in it. So here's how we fix that shit. Literal shit. We dumped some fucking ice in it. We're out here in the boondocks, and as we drive down this washboard road this morning, the ice will shake all that shit loose. We're basically making a giant piss and shit martini. Shaking not stead, sir. Pip pip. Anyway, we dumped again, and boom, that shit worked on the, shit. So we're going to cut down on all the corn and peanuts, and it should be fine. And no, I didn't smell it. I smelled it. Another fucking fire somewhere. I thought it was just California trying to burn the fuck down, but I was mistaken. I do love an apocalyptic sunrise, though. I mean, look at that shit. Alright, here's the deal with Idaho. Motherfuckers in Idaho don't want any other motherfuckers knowing anything or thinking about motherfuckers in Idaho. So here we are at a relative's house 30 miles south of the Canadian border at a fucking undisclosed location. We parked and slept in the front yard, and this here backyard valley view showing the river Nunya fucking business, is really the only footage I got. Also because we arrived at 10 a.m. and started day drinking immediately, and I'll pass the fuck out at like 6 p.m. or some shit, but yeah. Anyway, I woke up with a hangover and a couple Ziploc bags full of pew-pew pellets. Fucking Idaho. Gotta love it. Early the next morning, we left for Glacier National Park. This is the point where we popped our Montana cherries. We've never traveled up here east of Idaho before. Let me paint you a little picture of the terrain. Trees, road, mountains, more fucking trees. But fortunately, we fucking love trees. I even wrote a tree poem. It goes, "Trees are big and brown. You'll fucking die if they fall down on your dumbass head. The end." Oh, fellow veterans, if you get your Veterans ID card, you can get into all national parks for free. Do that shit online, va.gov, so fucking get on it. Alright, well, here we are in West Glacier National Park. I'll spare you the footage of the hideous line of cars to get in here, and if you come during certain daylight hours, you have to get an online road permit, but once you're in, it's like a big sigh. Or a big fart. One that smells good, though, like trees and shit. Also, I highly recommend stopping at the ranger stations to ask about dispersed camping. We found all the rangers to be extraordinarily friendly, helpful, and knowledgeable. I'm very impressed. Well done, Park Service. And by talking with rangers, they turned us on to some dispersed camping up near the ranger station that leads to Bowman Lake, right along the Flathead River, which is a line of demarcation. On one side of the river is Glacier National Park, and on the other side is the Flathead National Forest, which allows boondocking. So we drove about an hour and got way the fuck back here and found this, a spot we can back right up to the damn river. And this spot definitely deserves a fucking cheersies, so cheersies, motherfuckers. So here's our abode for the next 3 nights, and can you believe it's free to camp here? Not a motherfucker in sight. It's damn paradise. This here is why we do this shit, and why I'm making these videos, so you fine fucking folks out there will know that if you have a reliable vehicle and enough money for gas and food, you can wake your ass up in the morning without a clue where you're going to end up. And you can end up somewhere like this. Unless you're on the East Coast. Everyone tells me you can't boondock over there, so anyway, fuck them. What's a boy to do? I think I'll stare at this river and contemplate existence and shit. Or maybe I'll go lay around and have a fucking giggle with the wifey poo. Giggle, giggle. See what I'm saying? When you're boondocking, you just do what the fuck you want. And what I want to do is improve these shitty stairs to the river. Well, we probably all heard the phrase, leave it as good as you found it, but I'm more of a make that shit better for the next motherfucker. No one will ever know it was you. You'll never be thanked. You'll never see the fruits of your labor, so the fucking act itself is a labor of love, and is mostly selfless an act, being that it's not tainted with expectations. It's good practice for not being an asshole. Imagine if everyone did just a little something to make shit better, but, we're humans and we're dumbasses, so I'll let go of that expectation too. Also, I think this shit's fun. Well, not too bad. It's good to have a decent set of stairs because, drinky poos. Wifey poo's selfless act is to have a nap so she's not mean to me later. What do you think of my stairs, dear? She doesn't give a shit. And looky here, who came to fucking visit? This little cute-ass motherfucker here. This is a least chipmunk, the smallest species of chipmunk. There's a lot I could tell you about them, but all you need to know is that they're cute as fuck. And the females have 8 tits. I know. Now, speaking of never mind. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I know I just blasted you with a cuteness overload, so here's an ugly overload to cleanse thy fucking mental palate. What the fuck are you still doing here, you cute fuck? I just can't handle it. Time for a walkie poo, and you know how we do. Now, we're out here in some major bear country, so, I got my bear spray, I got my drinky poo, and I got my pew pew. And the wifey poo has her little horn and a proclivity to say really mean, scathing shit that will melt man or beast. Just kidding. Not kidding. So about a mile from our camp is this weird-ass little town called Polbridge, Montana. I say weird-ass because it's way the fuck out here in the middle of nowhere, so we're going to walk down and have some dinner. And there's this cabin along the way people can rent called the Ben Rover Cabin. And I thought up a fucking hilarious joke about Ben Rover, but Wifey Poo made me promise not to say it online, so you have to make up your own damn joke. Anywho, we went to the Northern Lights Saloon and got drinky poos, and they had live music, and I think we ate buffalo burgers or some shit. Buffalo balls, I don't know. We met some cool folks there and gathered more boondocking data. Fellow boondockers are one of the best sources of info. That and locals. Anyway, yeah, it was weird but cool as fuck finding this town. The Mercantile here has been in operation since 1914 and has a bakery in it with all manner of huckleberry baked goods and shit. We ate quite a fucking few of those. Polbridge during summer has a population of less than 100, and in wintertime, single digits. It's fucking cold. Cool as it was, we went back to camp because this is what we're here for. Mama's feeling no pain. This is our first night in Montana, and already I love it. Everywhere we've gone, we've seen beautiful fucking meadows, majestic trees seemingly guarding the borders like wooden sentinels, trails that just wander off into who fucking knows where. Bear shit all over the place. You can't help but feel a bit giddy way out here by ourselves. No camp hosts, no motherfuckers making racket 10 feet away. The Flathead River's constant gurgle drowning out the background noise of our mind. No plans on what's next until we awaken and have coffee and a poo. There's also no amenities out here, so you have to come prepared, but that's part of the fun of it. You know, that bullshit you keep in a go bag, or that camping thing you drunk bought but has no use in a campground suddenly has a use because it's just you and yours out here. And the moon. F-U-C-K, that spells moon. And drinky poos. Don't forget to bring the fucking drinky poos. Well, we're about 30 miles south of the Canadian border here. Glacier National Park has over 1 million acres, 130 named lakes, more than 1,000 different species of plants and animals. And this pristine ecosystem is the centerpiece of what's referred to as the crown of the continent, because it's fucking badass, that's why. Well, we're up here 3 nights, so stay tuned, because Glacier National Park is fucking amazeballs, so see you then. Toodaloo.